Welcome to Briefs, and today we're going to be looking at a movie for once. Yeah, not a full series, and there's a reason why. What's that reason? Well, here's the long and short of it. I promised to do Kiki's delivery service last month, thinking I'd have a lot to say about it. But it turns out I really don't. So instead of a long, drawn-out review which would waste my time and yours, I reconfigured it into a brief review. Kiki's Delivery Service is about a teenage witch named Kiki, played by Kirsten Dunst, in her only really fucking good role. Like, seriously, she should really quit acting and go into anime voice acting. I think she'd be great for it. As she's about to set off on her witch training that all teenage witches have to go through. Because that makes much more sense than sending your child off to a school with other witches to be taught and trained by professionals of the craft, right? I like to imagine that this is in the same universe as Harry Potter and that Kiki's mom is one of those overbearing mothers who hates conventional education and just told Dumbledore to shove it up his Azkaban. So Kiki is partnered up with her familiar, a black cat named Gigi, who is voiced by Phil Hartman. You might remember him from such films as Jingle All the Way and So I Married an Axe Murderer. Yeah, that was my best Phil Hartman impersonation. I hope I didn't murder it too much. Now, I'm going to spoil something for you. This fucker right here, he's a metaphor. And he's a damn fine metaphor. Gigi is a metaphor for Kiki's immaturity. She speaks to him as a means to comfort herself in times of need, and he doesn't actually talk. She loses the ability to communicate with Gigi later on in the film and never regains it. Her losing the ability to speak to Gigi is symbolic of her growing up and no longer needing a security blanket. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the other starring character. No, not the pregnant chick voiced by Dot Warner. Kiki's panties. Seriously, this film, for a family flick, has an odd obsession with showing a 13-year-old girl's britches, and I'm not particularly sure why. This makes it especially awkward when someone you know walks in while you're watching it, but they have no clue what's going on. Really, all you can do to justify this is shrug your shoulders and say, it's anime. I find that fixes most problems when someone walks in on you watching anime, and especially when it gets very, very weird. While the movie certainly isn't terrible, it certainly is kind of boring. I mean, throughout most of the film, there really isn't much conflict. In fact, there's not a lot going on at all. It really does feel like a slice of life anime at times, which I'd be all for if there was something actually going on. But a lot of the times, there really isn't. It's the only detractor I think this film legitimately has, other than its incredibly boring climax, that it doesn't feel like there's actually any tension in the ending, in the climax. At the very end, Kiki, I almost said Chi-Chi, oh my god, slap me. At the very end, Kiki has to save her friend from falling from a dirigible. And it's just, she just grabs this old guy's broom and she has a little bit of trouble getting it off the ground because she lost her ability to fly. And then she saves him, there's a little bit of trouble. But overall, it feels rather tensionless. Like, I watch that scene and I'm like, she's gonna make it out fine. They're both gonna be fine. There's no problem here. It's just, she's just sort of it's a pebble in her shoe. It's nothing. But despite the slow pace and the really, really bad climax, I actually really like this movie. Kiki is such a cute and fun protagonist that it's hard not to love her. And I'd almost consider putting her up there with the greats like Goku and Cutie Honey. Remember, I said almost. There's times where she's kinda whiny, and it sorta takes away from her fun, cute personality, but really that's about it. She never goes full Shinji Ikari on us, and that's a good thing. Kirsten Dunst does a good job, and I mean, she really makes me want her to just quit acting, like normal conventional acting, and just go up to Funimation and say, hire me. Fucking hire me. Because I think she would do a great job in anime. She doesn't do such a good job outside of anime, but the one anime she's done, she's fucking great on. Now, Gigi is probably my favorite character in the whole movie. In fact, I think out of all of Hayao Miyazaki's films, he's probably my favorite character out of all of them. For the same reason why Rat Trap is my favorite character in Beast Wars, because he's a fun, snarky, sarcastic asshat. And it really helps me relate more to him than with Kiki, since I've been a snarky and sarcastic asshat, but I don't know what it's like to be a teenage 13-year-old witch. Teenage 13... my brain's not working. It's like 2 in the morning. Fuck off. And Phil Hartman does such a damn good job as him that it actually makes up for him being in Jingle All the Way. It makes me forgive him for being in Jingle All the Way. Nobody read that script and yeah, nobody said that script and said Thaler. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I don't mean to laugh this much. But nobody read that script and said, man, that is such a good idea. Except when, I hope Schwarzenegger said, when he read that, put that cookie down line, I hope he said, man, I need to fucking say that now. Now, this has been Briefs, and I really don't have a way to cap this off, so, Mazel tov?